Hello and welcome to Prudent Media News. Now a look at the headlines. CLP members suggest election in March, opine that assembly can be dissolved in November. Shantaram wins Rajya Sabha seat again, defeats BJP's Damu Naik by 10 votes. 1 vote gets invalid. Mickey abstains from voting. More than 90 students from 613 government primary schools choose Marathi medium. Sources say rest 254 schools may also go with Marathi and Konkani. Goa desk in charge of the Congress assures full support for Marathi and Konkani, says all demands of pro-regional language people will be fulfilled. Indian football's defining moment will test Armando's magic in World Cup qualifier. India clash with higher-ranked UAE on Saturday night. And Armand Colosso is multitasking. Dampo Sports Club's hunt for foreign players continues, says assistant coach Maurice Afonso. And now the news in detail. The election bells might ring in February-March. The CLP meet that was held on Friday expressed that the election should be held in February or March. They opine that the assembly can be dissolved by October or November. They feel the election should be prior to the Panchayat election. This meeting has acquired more importance as this stand of the Congress MLAs has come to the fore when their Goa desk in charge is in Goa. Congress Legislative Party held its meeting on Friday with Rajya Sabha election on in the Secretariat. The issue of assembly election was discussed thoroughly in the meeting. The preparation that party needs to do for the election, development of different constituencies and number of strategic issues were discussed in the meet.
CLPच्या मीटिंगेत डिसिजन घेतला तुम्ही आज?
आमचे मीटिंग जायत असतात. आता इलेक्शना लागी पावतात तशी मीटिंग जायत असतली.
इलेक्शन लागी पावला म्हणजे केन्ना अशें सुमार अशें?
पुढे सांगता मरे.
तशें आयजो निकाल जाला हो तुमच्या इन फेवराचे फुडे आसा अशें दिसता तुमकां?
कसले फेवराचे?
नाही म्हणजे फुडल्या विधानसभा इलेक्शन.
विधानसभेचे इलेक्शन प्रजे ठरयता. आणि म्हाका दिसता म्हाका प्रजेचेर पूर्ण विश्वास आसा. प्रजा आपल्याक जे कितें जाय तेच करतली.
As per the sources, most of the MLAs said that assembly elections should be held before Panchayat elections. Many advised senior party leaders to dissolve the current assembly in October. Issue of creating new government jobs and awarding them to people was also discussed. It was decided to initiate certain people-friendly projects. Discussion was held on implementing most of the pro-poor schemes of government effectively for next 6 months. Many English supporter MLAs assured CM that medium issue won't hamper prospects of the party in election. Our senior reporter Rakesh Kandulkar with video journalist Shashank Pal for Prudent Media. Shantaram Naik has won the Rajya Sabha election for the second consecutive time. Shantaram won the election by 10 votes. Damu Naik lost the election. He got only 14 votes. Except Mickey Pacheco, all 39 MLAs cast their vote, out of which 1 vote was invalid. Talks are on that this invalid vote is from a senior Congress MLA from North Goa who is upset with the Congress party. Voting for the Rajya Sabha election began on Friday morning. Special arrangements were made at the meeting room in the Assembly complex. Legislative Secretary Yuvraj Naik was the returning officer for the election. Deputy Speaker Movin Gudino was the first one to vote. Congress MLAs, before dropping their ballot paper in the box, showed their vote to the whip Movin Gudino. However, MGP MLA Deepak Daulikar refused to show the ballot paper like others. Mickey Pacheco abstained from voting. The counting of the votes was over by 5 in the evening. The result was declared. Shantaram Naik won the election by getting 24 votes and Damu Naik lost it to 14 votes. 1 vote was declared invalid. CM Digambar Kamath was happy with the victory. Election agent of the Congress, Movin Gudino too expressed his views.
Congress President Sonia Gandhi had reposed the faith in Shantaram Naik by again nominating him as a candidate of the Rajya Sabha. She had directed us to see that Shantaram Naik wins with thumping majority. And I am happy that Congress has remained united.
जे महत्वाचे विषय गोंयच्या संबंधात पेंडिंग आसात तांकां हांव परती चालना दितलो. गोंयाक स्पेशल प्रोविजन्स करपाची अंडर आर्टिकल 371 ज्याचे मुळे गोंयच्यो जमनी हांचो वेव्हार गोंय सरकाराक गोंयची हिताची नदरेन करपाचो अधिकार प्राप्त जातलो.
भारतीय जनता पार्टी जिखली तातूंत भितर आमचे 14 आमदार आसात. तुमी प्रेसान वावडे उठयताले हो फुट्टलो तो फुट्टलो 14चे 14 थंयच आसात आनी आमकां 14 आमचे एक संघ आसात तेय आमी दाखोवन दिले.
Our reporter Lokik Shilkar, senior reporter Rakesh Kandalkar with video journalist Ravindra Dalvi. Majority of students from government primary schools of 7 talukas have insisted that they prefer Indian languages as medium of instruction rather than English. More than 90% students from government primary schools have opted for Marathi as medium of instruction. Just 8% students have opted for English in 7 talukas. Sources say in rest of the 4 talukas, more primary school students are likely to opt for Marathi as the medium. This can be a shock to pro-English MLAs and ministers in Kamath-led government. Less than 10% students in government primary schools in 7 talukas have opted for English as the medium. Close to 90% have opted for Marathi. Exact number of students opting for Kokni medium is yet to be identified. Parents and students of 613 government primary schools have sent their choice to Education Department. Department had asked parents of students from government primary schools to decide on medium of instruction. And this is the taluka-wise data of parents' choice in government primary schools. Out of 83 primary schools in Pedne, 1,846 students have opted for Marathi and just 59 for English. In Sattari, out of 111 government primary schools, 2,679 have chosen Marathi and 44 have opted for English. In Bades, 2,151 students want Marathi and only 243 wants English. In Bicholi, from 90 primary schools, 2,802 students have preferred Marathi and just 45 have favored English. In Congress stronghold of Salset, out of 63 government primary schools, 1,328 wants Marathi and 726 wants English. In Kankon, 1,656 prefer Marathi and just 27 want English. In Sange, 2,557 prefer Marathi and 107 say English. This data clearly shows that even in Salset, majority of parents have opted for Marathi as the medium in government primary schools. There are 867 government primary schools in Goa. Of these, 613 have given their choice. Rest 254 primary schools are in 4 talukas of Tiswadi, Murgaon, Ponda and Kepe. Data from these 4 talukas is yet to be compiled. Sources in Education Department say even in these 4 talukas, majority of students are likely to opt for Marathi as medium. Few days back, government had informed court that 90% of students in 145 aided primary schools have opted to study in English medium, and very few had opted for Marathi and Kokni. Now these 613 government primary schools have turned the tide against English. Even though government is firm on allowing aided schools to starting English medium, High Court has directed government not to implement the policy until further orders. Now medium matter will come up in the High Court on Wednesday. Bureau Report, Prudent Media. Goa desk in charge of the Congress, J.S. Brar, has no definite plan for the development of Kokni and Marathi in the state. But he says Congress will fulfill every demand of pro-regional language people.
We have the greatest respect and regards for the mother tongue, maybe Marathi, Konkani language, so that supremacy has to remain. मदर टंग के लिए सारा स्कीम्स जो हैं वो बनाई जा रही हैं, जो भी मराठी स्कूल्स के लिए, जो भी कोंकणी लैंग्वेज के लिए, जो भी कोई इनिशिएटिव लेना चाहे, स्टेट गवर्नमेंट इज़ 100% prepared to help.
Brar also informed that Congress will stress on the development of the state in their manifesto for the forthcoming assembly polls.
But yes, this is an issue because Aam Aadmi, common people, they wanted to teach their wards, their children, English also. So it has been made mandatory that the compulsory language status remains, but in English also, if any parent or any from first to fourth.
Our reporter from Panji, Laukik Shilkar, with video journalist Ravindra Dalvi.
It's time for a short break. Stay tuned.